Assalamu alaikum friends. Welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to go through some of the advices on how to do questions on APM, Advanced Performance Management. As you know, that one of the toughest paper is in professional level is one is APM and one is your AAA, which is your Advanced Audit and Assurance, right? So these two are one of the toughest paper, and that's why there are some advices that you need to follow to pass this paper. Okay, so let us go through the advices. In this advices, now there are advices from from the viewpoint of two students who have given advices on how to pass APM. Okay, and this advices is definitely going to be helpful for those students who is planning to do APM, who is because there's an optional paper, so who is planning to choose APM. Okay, okay, so now let us go to the first advice, Rohan's advice. So Rohan is the candidate, and let's see what Rohan has to say on APM. Rohan's advice. Okay. So he says, "Hello guys. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. Okay. I passed at 74.2 in the fourth attempt. Okay. So just see in which attempt he passed. I passed at 74.2 in my fourth attempt. So this shows how APM is a difficult paper, right? It's not impossible to fail, but it's a difficult paper compared to the other paper. Okay, that's why he got 74, which is a very good mark, 74, but in fourth attempt. Okay, now my score was, now look at the pattern, 47, 38, 48, and 74. Did you see? From 47, first attempt was 47, then he went down to 38, then again he went up 48, and before he actually shot, right, he crossed the boundaries over 50, right, 74. So now the question is how did he do it? How did Rohan manage to get 74? Let me ask you a simple question. So we are now going to start with a simple question. Okay. How many of you know exactly what's going on with Sony, Twitter, Nokia, Tesco's, Rio Tinto, Unilever in terms of their financial performance and strategy? Do you know? Do you have any idea about the performance and strategy? If I ask you this question to you now, what is the financial performance of Unilever or Twitter or Sony? Or forget about Sony, Twitter, and all. If I ask about Apple or Android, the Samsung, what is the financial performance and the strategies? So most of you don't, and most of you can't define what's happening in the real world. This is an issue, right? You cannot define what's happening in the real world, and that's why you are here, as you are not fit to be qualified, as you are not fit to be qualified ACCA, and neither did I, because I never cared about enough about developing myself as a business professional. So this is for all those ACCA students, not only performance management. Any paper you give in ACCA, if you are not aware of what's happening in the real world, if you don't have the knowledge, what are the strategies they are following, what is their financial performance? See, I'm not telling you that you have to know detail, okay? No, no, none of us can do that. We cannot go through each of these companies and see their financial performance, but just an overview, broadly, you know, one or two key figures you can just see it. So if you're not aware, then this ACCA course is not for you. This ACCA course, if you want to pass it, you have to be fully aware. Not only for the subject, for any subject. Even for SPL, heavily you have to use practical, commercial acumen. One of the professional mark is commercial acumen. There you need this because you didn't care about developing as a business professional. Senior managers and qualified accountants read business newspapers every day, and if you ask them, then they will be able to give an answers to my questions. Okay. When you're giving ACCA, especially when you're in the professional level, don't think yourself as a student. giving an APM exam. Think yourself as you are an accountant, senior level accountant or senior manager who have to give recommendation to employees or the people below you. So a person senior in an organization, we know that he or she should know the broad overview of everything, what's happening in the real world. If you don't, how will you be able to guide your subordinates, your the people who are working under you? So you have to think yourself in that position that you are sitting in the chair. Imagine yourself you're the chairman or the CEO or some senior manager in a company. That's why you have to know this. Okay. So I have full sympathy for those who don't have guidance. You see, why full sympathy for those who don't have? Because for those who have guidance and still they are not practicing it or not making themselves enough. What do I say? Not reading much about the business things, what's happening in the real world, and not updating themselves, then it's the fault is theirs. Okay, they are to be blamed. But if someone is not even guided, then you can have some sympathy. Okay, you can say, okay, that person does not have, they did not know, they were not guided, so it's okay to make mistake and okay to fail. Okay, because best training providers fail to train candidates on most important aspects of P5. You see, most of the trainers, if you go best training institution and all, and still you are failing P5, right? It is not the fault of you, my dear students. It is the fault of those institution who is not telling you these important things. They are supposed to guide you, okay? Because this question is always asked by me from my students. Ma'am, what is the thing I have to study? What are the things I have to study? What are the course exactly? How much should I study? What is the syllabus area? What are the things not coming in the syllabus? See, I am not some predictor sitting here and I cannot predict future that this will come, that will come, okay? I'm not, that's not my job. My job is to teach and my job is to guide. Guide in such a way that no matter whatever things come, you have to be prepared enough to tackle with it. It's like learning swimming, okay? A good swimmer, a good swimmer should be able to swim. A good swimmer cannot should not have a problem with the level of the sea. It could be deep, it could be shallow. He should be able to swim in whatever the level of the sea is. So same apply to the ACCA papers also. It does not matter from wherever the question comes, hard, difficult, medium level, difficult. It does not matter. But you, as an ACCA student, it's your duty that you should know. Even though 80% of what you study does not come, only 20% comes. But you should make that effort to know everything, even outside your syllabus, the real world, especially for this paper. That's why this advices are especially for APM, not for other papers. Because other papers with technical knowledge and all with the textbook, you will be able to somehow pass. But APM is not like that. You cannot pass this paper if you are not having practical knowledge. Since hence this is one of the toughest paper. If you see the pass rate, you know why this is one of the toughest paper. You will know. Okay. So even so after seeing this video, now you know that you should know all this aspect. Even if your tutor or whatever the training institutions you're learning under, if you're doing self-study also, if you don't know these things, now that you know, please apply it and make yourself more aware. Okay, become more aware of the real world. Read newspapers. If not newspapers, you know everyone has social media on Facebook. You subscribe to such channel so or such news so that you get the updates. Just reading the subheading or the heading of it is enough for you for a day. You don't have to go in detail and read each and every piece of information. It's not, you won't have that much of time, please. That's not my aim that you keep on reading newspapers only, keep on reading articles only, business articles, business journals. No, reading 10 5 articles per day, no, it's not, it is not practically possible. But what am I saying is that at least you can have an effort to just go through the headings of the news or subheadings. Then this will tell you what the news is all about. At least you will have an idea that these things are around. Okay, next. So, well, guy, let's think this way. Okay, Tesco is doing really bad. Okay, if you see, Tesco is doing really bad, which is at the very moment, which it is at the very moment. So how is that? How do you know Tesco is doing really bad? Only if you went through it. If you went through the financial performance and all, the one who is aware, they will be able to say that Tesco is doing bad or not. Okay. So this is just a scenario they are giving you. Tesco is doing really bad, which is at the very moment. So CEO wants you as an advisor. Okay, advisor. Who are you? Advisor. And we know the role of the advisor. See, whenever you take advice from someone, whom do you take advice from? Someone who knows less than you, or someone who knows equal to you, or someone who knows more than you? Definitely, you will be asking some qualified person in that field. You'll be asking someone who is more experienced, who he is in that position to give you advice, who has already walked that path. Only he or she will be is capable enough to advise you, right? So advisor should know something. So you, if you are an advisor, you should know about these things. Otherwise, you are not capable enough, you are not competent enough to advise, right? So and evaluate how the business can turn around. Okay, you as an advisor and evaluate how the business can turn around with an aim to maintain market share, profitability, customer satisfaction. What are the three things? Market share, profitability, customer satisfaction. 8 marks. How you can turn around the business? You have to advise. I used to answer, and I know most of you guys would answer along the line of 4 points mentioned below. I have then mentioned in brackets what examiner would want to see in your answer and why don't you get 50%. Very important thing. Most this is like an eye-opening thing which I went through. I just recently went through this article and I thought that I have to share this on my channel, on my page. Like I'm going to share this on my other social medias also, on Insta and all. But first, I thought of uploading this on YouTube channel because this is going to help most of the APM students, right? I have mentioned in brackets what examiner would want to see in your answer. So whatever is in the bracket, that is what the examiner wants to see. And why don't you get 50%, right? So for all those who have been failing APM continuously or who is planning to give the APM for the first time, this is the thing which you need to know. These are the things which you need to know, and from here onwards you have to see the video in full till the end. Okay. So reduce cost. Okay. His point was reduce cost. Okay. What happens when you reduce cost? So Tesco has to reduce cost. Okay. Reduce cost is the point. What happens when you reduce cost? This will improve profitability. Definitely, isn't it? When you reduce cost, your profits will increase, right? More customer will come, demand will increase. So profit, it's going to be, your profitability will improve. Dash means inside the bracket. Okay, this is the first point. Okay, reduce cost. Inside the bracket, what did the examiner give? Please see this. I'm going to highlight this as well. So let's see what's in the examiner. But how? Okay, so these are the things which is there in the bracket. But how? See, these are the questions which you need to answer as an APM student. And this is an area where most of the students struggle. They know the point, reduce cost and it will improve profitability. After that, they're not able to explain. What do? They pull full stop and go to the next point. But that first point, even though it's correct, you will not get full marks because you have to expand on it more. You said reduce cost, it will improve profitability. The examiner is asking you about how. How it will improve the profitability. Reducing cost will improve profitability. You need to answer this. Next, where? Where it will improve profitability. Next, third, what impact will this have? This and these are the things which you need to answer. Okay, next, coming to the next point, better marketing. Yes, how can you because the question asked how can you turn around the business? It is not at good position now, the Tesco. You need to change it so that it becomes into better position. One is reduce cost. Next is better marketing. Okay, so the second point is better marketing. What happens because of better marketing? This will improve market awareness among customers and brand loyalty. Yes, so customers will become more aware of it, your products, and also brand loyalty. Okay, in the bracket, the examiner told these things which you need to answer. In addition to it, what is it? To target. What and whom? To target whom? See, you are doing marketing, but you need to know to whom you are targeting. Is it for the mass market? Is it for the niche? Is it for some people who are only included only for some people? What is your target customer? You need to know that group. Okay. What about the cost implication? Yes, you told marketing, but you have to think about the cost also. We know that when you have marketing, you need to do promotion and all those things. There are cost implication. Sometimes the cost might be more than the benefit. You have to weigh this pros and the cons. Is it necessary? Yes. This question also you need to answer. Is it necessary to do marketing? Every time you cannot say when some business is doing do better marketing, do better marketing. You cannot just advise, okay, do better marketing. You actually have to go through deep down and see whether it is actually necessary or not. Okay, coming to the third point, improve stocks on shelves. Yes. So improved stocks on shelf. What happens because of this? To maintain customer satisfaction. Definitely, when you have the stocks on the shelves, we know customers will be satisfied, right? But in the bracket, the examiner wants these things. How? How the customer will be satisfied if there are stocks on shelves? Do we have systems to do it? You have to see, do we have the system? Will it improve customer satisfaction, and if so, why? Will it? Fourth, improve pricing. Okay. See, definitely you have to talk about prices and all. Okay. Pricing is also a very important thing, especially when a business is not doing well and you have to turn over the business. So improve the pricing, perhaps reduce the price. So when you reduce the price, look at the issues. Examiner is saying, what about the margins? Definitely. Will it affect your margin? You say reducing price. Do we have a plan to reduce the cost too? Reducing price is not enough. You have to reduce the cost also, because when you reduce price, your profit will reduce. In order to maintain that profit, you have to reduce your cost also. Because if only your price reduce, if you do not reduce your cost, you are not going to survive in the long run. So that's why do we have a plan to reduce cost too. What models can we use to close the gap? Okay. Should we source better, cheaper supplier? If so, will it reduce the quality? See, if you are taking on a cheaper supplier, cheaper than you, who can produce cheaper than you, but what about the quality? Will it affect the quality? All these things needs to be asked. It's in bracket, okay? Now let us see what is he saying. Okay. So if you answer all those questions in brackets above, then you will be scoring at least 12 or 13 marks if question wasn't capped at 8 marks. Okay, because it is not for 8 marks. If it was for, let's say, out of 15, at least you will get out 12 or 13 marks you will get for answering all this, whatever is there in the bracket. But instead, majority of students give basic answers without a solution or further analysis into other things that affect their businesses. Basic answers means what? Most of the students, what did they say? Reduce cost, it will improve profitability. Better marketing, improve market awareness. Improve the stocks, customer will be satisfied. Improve pricing, so demand will increase, customer will come. Only this much they have they wrote. You think you'll be able to get all the full marks with this much of answering? You need to answer what is there in the bracket. So the 4 points mentioned above will hardly fetch me 3 marks, because all I have done is identified a strategy or solution to the problem. You see, only you will get 3 marks if you answer the 4 points above. Why? Because you just identified a strategy or solution to the problem. You just told, okay, this is the problem, reduce cost. It's just one solution, but you didn't explain it. You haven't analyzed it. I haven't analyzed it. That's what Rohan is saying. I haven't provided how we can achieve it. Neither have I given an example in relation to the company. You didn't even give any examples. Another thing is, in APM, you need to be available with plenty of examples that you can apply to the your company in the case study. That's a skill you need to develop if you're not aware of it. Now look at the model answer below. It's brief but mentions all points required to score full marks. So for all of those students who think that writing more will give you more marks, please, it's a wrong myth you have been following. It's not like that. The quality of your answer matters a lot. Even if you're writing less points, or let's say the length is small, but if you're writing all the points to the point, you still can get full marks. Okay, so answer below is, it's brief. It looks brief for 8 marks, but for it is enough to get full marks. Okay, so this is the model answer. Let us go through it. So first point was reduce cost. We know that. Now they're answering each and everything in different paragraphs. So the first paragraph says what? Okay, you are getting half a mark for each. If you see the number of marks, it is 0.5. Okay, 0.5 for each. So I don't think I have to highlight it anywhere. Everywhere is 0.5 mark. Half a mark you will get. That's how you will get the full 8 marks. Okay. So what? Focus on cost. So what? Focus on cutting cost in areas not adding enough value in supply chain. Okay. How can you reduce cost? You can reduce cost by cutting cost in areas not adding enough value in supply chain. Yes, the areas which is not adding enough value in your supply chain, what would you do? Just cut it. Your focus has to be on cutting cost in those areas, not on those areas which is core to your business or which is adding value to your business, right? For that, to write that, you will get 0.5 mark. Example can be, so now you're giving examples. Okay, if you give examples, another half a mark. What are those examples? Supplier, logistics, staff, system. For example, supplier. If your supply is not, what do I say, reliable enough, right? Does not give you on time, or the supplies are too expensive, okay? They're charging too much. Better to cut off that supplier from your supply chain list so that the costs are reduced. Next is logistics. Then the staff. If the cost is too much, right? If their wages or salary, they are demanding too high. They are not, what do I say? They are not producing good quality work, right? System, right? So all these things can help to reduce cost. You see, they are not only saying reduce cost, they are also saying in which area you need to reduce cost and how can you reduce cost with examples. Next, how. Next is how. First is what. I'm not highlighting each and everything, but just okay. How. There might be a need for an organizational restructure, reducing cost. How can you do it? You might do an organizational restructure. Okay. For that, 0.5 a mark. Perhaps bring restructuring consultants specialized in this area. How can I do that? Bring consultants who are specialized in restructuring. They will help you to do that, to reduce cost. So for that, 0.5 a mark. Okay. So already you got 2 marks. 1 mark for what? 1 mark for how. Okay. 0.5 plus 0.5 here and here also 0.5 plus 0.5. Coming to the next, risks and implications. Every idea that you give as an advisor, always remember there are drawbacks to it also. That also you have to give, okay? There are risk and implication. That also you have to consider. You evaluate means what? Pros and cons. You have to give the pros as well as cons. Okay, so risk and implications. What are the risks of reducing cost? Staff morale might reduce due to panic. You see, they might not be motivated. Staff, it will reduce their motivation. Will reduce due to panic. They'll be panicking because everything they need to think about the cost. They need to cut down the cost, so they don't have that freedom to exercise what they want to do. They have to think of the cost all the time. Cost. If I do this, it will be, will it cost? So their moral will go down. That is one risk is there. So exercise to reduce cost might be costly itself in itself. Okay, for that, 0.5 marks. Staff, perhaps involve staff in change management to avoid any demotivation. So first thing they are saying, staff will be demotivated. Second, they are saying what to do so that staff are not motivated. Okay, you are giving an action like. So perhaps involve staff in change management to avoid any demotivation. What does it mean, change management? When you're changing the organization, restructuring, make your staff involved or make them a part of it, so they also have a say on how to do the changes, what to do when you're reducing the cost. These are the areas we need to work on. Involve them, don't keep them isolated. So this will avoid their demotivation. This will make them motivated. Managers also will feel, yes, we are a part of the organization, we have a say in how to reduce the cost, what are the areas, right? So 0.5 mark for that. So 3 marks itself you are getting from reduced cost. Now let us go to the second point. Second point is improve marketing. Okay, this is the second solution on how to turn around the business. Here also 3 things: what, how, and the implication. Okay, so it's like all the questions, whatever you do, 3 things, 3 questions you need to answer: what, how, implication. What, how, implication. What, how, implication. Keep on repeating this self. Okay, this will help you in APM, trust me. uh okay, so what? Target loyal customer in order to maintain market share. You need to know your target group. Okay, 0.5 more. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to improve the marketing? You advertise, okay, more on loyalty cards and current offers. So what, oh, okay, sorry, what are you marketing? Advertise more on loyalty cards and current offers through right channels of communication or maintain current client base. Okay, advertise should be focused on comparison of prices if new customers are to be attracted in order to improve or maintain the market share. You see, because the question asks if you want to maintain or improve the market share, what should you do? Advertise should be this is your linking to the question requirement. Okay, advertise should be focused on comparisons of prices if new customers are to be attracted in order to improve the market share. If you want to improve or maintain the market share, you have to think of the prices. You have to think the prices of yourself with your competitor. You have to compare. Okay, then only you can attract the new customer towards you, so that you can take away the customer from your competitor and bring it to your, right, make them loyal towards you. You need to think of the prices. You have, so when you think, so you have to advertise in such a way. Maybe you can say that we are more cheaper, or we are more we provide better offer than our customers in terms of prices, so like that, something like that you can advertise. Next is how we need to ensure that we have budget for it. You have to think, not just go for marketing. Do you have the budget for marketing, or do you have savings within other budgets of overall marketing budget? So marketing budget is one part of the budget. Budgets could be for so many other things. So you have to see whether do you have the savings on the other budget, so that you can use this in the marketing budget. Okay, now the implication, there is always a risk that marketing might not be effective and might fail to win customers. Always a risk. Do you think that every promotion that you do are successful? They bring customers? No, they don't. They don't. There's always a risk, right? So to focus, track previous results and effectiveness of cinemas. And how are they giving you? They told that this is the risk, this is the implication, how to reduce the risk, impact of the risk. To focus, check previous results and effectiveness of similar marketing campaign. You see, you're comparing it with the past result. How effective were your the marketing campaigns which you used similar in the previous year? Was it successful? Was it effective? So you focused based on that. That also you could do to reduce the implication of your marketing to fail. Next, third point, improve stocks. Okay, so here if you see how many marks, okay, they just gave the rate 0.5 to 1 mark. Now let us go to the improve stock. This was the third point. So what, how, and implication. Here also same. What? Improve stock positioning to push improve volumes. Next, how? Improve stock positioning of items that are easy to sell. Okay, consumable like chocolates and drinks. Stop stocking slow moving brands as they might be a burden on supply chain. You see, what are the things you put on stock? Only those that are easy to sell, so that your stocks are not build up, right? You should not put such products which takes long time to sell, which are slow moving products. Why? Because it will build up on your stock and it will become obsolete, or there's a cost also of holding it, right? There's a cost of holding the stocks in your warehouses and all. It's a cost, it's a burden on you, like, right? So use better stocking systems, okay, or models that give detailed analysis to purchasing manager. Now the implication, purchase items from better suppliers who provide good value for money, right? Stop stocking lower margin products. Improve the MI systems that give the detailed view of stock and ensure the cost of this process improvement don't exceed the benefit. You see, this is what you're doing. This is like when you're improving, introducing a new system or something. It's like a process improvement. You're improving the process. Okay, so when you improve the process, there is always a cost to it. You have to see that this cost does not outweigh the benefit. Okay, otherwise there's no advantage of you having that system. Next. So for that you will get 1 mark. Let's see. So guys, I have already spoken about 3 main points and applied simple elaboration rules. What was it? Let me highlight it for you. So this is, I think you will remember this. From today, you will remember this. Okay, promise me that you're going to remember this. Okay, write it somewhere. How? What? Why? Implications, examples. Now in every question we didn't answer two things. Why? The why part we didn't ask. We just answer three: what, how, and implications. But why an example also could be included there. Okay, because somewhere we have included examples also. Okay, and I am already scoring 9 or 10 marks or more. Definitely this is for 8 marks. So if it's 9 or 10 means he's scoring full marks. 8 out of 8 for such an answer. Okay, now let us go to the next. Sometimes students go blank during answering questions and can't think of any ideas. The best thing to do is to think of uh, McKenzie's 7S. What is the 7S? Hmm? One is the system, the other one is the strategy, the other one is the structure, staff. All these are S, okay? That's why it's known as 7S. System, strategy, structure, staff, skills, and style. They are all interrelated. Changing one will have impact on all the other S. For example, changing a system means number one, you need to train staff for skills. Don't you? When you change a system from, for example, our ACCA, take this ACCA as an example. Before it was paper based, now it is CB platform. So because that change is there, don't you have to train your candidates, the students, to use the CB platform? Because to use that skills, right? Computer based skills. So you need to train staff for skills. Number one. So your staff will have an impact, your skill will have an impact, right? Number two, you might need a restructure and employ more people. Definitely, you might have to employ more people. Three, staff will be worried of change. Aren't you worried of change when it first changed to the CV platform? Even now, most of the candidates are finding it more difficult than the papers, isn't it? So you're kind of like worried and all. So you will notice that similarly, I have used many as in my answer on Tesco. If you see the Tesco answer, they have used the yes. They have told the system, especially for the stock and all. You consider they have told the strategy. What is the strategy? It's like a long-term goal. Do this, do that. So this impact will reduce. Structure. They gave you a structure also. Staff, skills, and style. They told about staff. Okay. Final advice. Please do enough questions 20 to 30. Please. This I need to highlight. Please do enough questions. Enough questions means what? 20 to 30. This is 20 to 30. They are saying enough questions. Okay. If you want to be more, like if you are planning for getting high scores and all, getting world ranks and all, then definitely 20 30 is not. It should be 50 60. Double of it. Double the question. This is just enough. This is like the minimum. So you cannot even think doing questions less than this. This gives you an idea. Not only for this paper, any ACCA paper you take, more than 20 30 questions you have to do. If you want to pass 50 and if you want to get high, world ranks, then think how many questions you have to do, right? So the more and more questions you do, it is proportionately related, okay, correlated. With the amount number of questions you do with your exam performance. More questions you do, better your exam performance will be. Okay. So enough do questions on 20 30 and just use your basic business sense, but write slightly more sophisticated business language to explain simple points. Your basic business sense has to be there. We all know when a business is not doing good, what should we do? Reduce the price, reduce the cost, do better marketing, reach to better customer. So all these things are business common sense. We don't even need a textbook or we don't need APM knowledge to answer this, don't you? Right? If you ask any a common person who have not done this course, who have not done ACC, you ask them, business is doing bad. What should I do to improve it? You ask this question. Any one of you will be able to tell at least 2 out of 3 points. He will be able to tell. At least one point he will be able to tell. He will at least tell reduce cost. That point he should be able to tell, right? Any person. This is common business sense or basic business sense. But when you're writing it, okay, you have to write it in a sophisticated business language. Sophisticated means not some jargon or something which is not understood by a common person, not like that, but you say you have to link it to the case study and some ACCA thing, some terms maybe you have learned under APM that you can use here. Okay, don't get too nervous. Nervousness is a killer. Okay, this definitely I have to highlight. Nervousness is a killer. Killer. It will kill you. No matter how smart and talented you think you are, the moment you are nervous, you're gone, you're dead. You cannot. Use proper noise cancellation earbuds, not cotton buds. It should be available online or pharmacy. Spend enough time reading questions and not giving an answer. spend enough time reading questions and not giving an answer to different questions. Please spend enough time reading the questions. If you're not understanding one time, read a second time. If you're not understanding second time, read third time. See, I always tell my students, if needed, okay, I don't encourage that waste so much of time or take so much of time to read and then write. No, but in case for those students who are not understanding the first time, who is having a problem in understanding or interpreting in the very first time they read something, read it as many time as you want till you understood it very properly, even though it means you are spending more time on trying to understand the case study rather than writing it. I will tell you the reason why. Once you have understood it, and when you're writing with that knowledge what you have understood, your writing speed, you will see now you have to type on CV platform, it will tremendously increase. You will be very confident because you know that you have clearly understood, and also you can write fast. You can write much faster because you will not write one sentence and then think about the next one, write one sentence and be confused. No, you will be able to write, everything will come up to you, all the answers. You can visualize the structure of your answer and you can just type it. And that, and when you're typing it, that speed will be so much that you will be able to cover up for that time which you have wasted taking more time to read and understand the case study, right? Because reading, taking time to read the case study, understand it and write it together, it takes so much of time. It reduces your time on writing the answer. But I always say that when there are two things, which area should I spend more time on? Is it on writing the answer or is it trying to understand the case study? I always say try to understand the case study. I always say that, right? So don't be in such a hurry that I have to write only without understanding. I've read once, it's enough. I have to write and somehow I have to finish. No, even if you write also, whatever you write is not proper. So what's the use of writing it? You will not get marks. You're wasting time. So don't do that. Okay? Because when I mark mocks for students, so I know when I see the answers, and I feel very sad when I see the answers that they are answering something which is totally different. They are not even asked in that question. Sometimes when there are so many parts in a question, what is asked in the third part is answered in the second part. What is asked in the second part is answered somewhere else. So that is also there, right? This shows the student didn't understand, they didn't interpret the question properly. They have a lack of understanding the question. It's not their lack of knowledge. They understood the concept very well, but they don't know which concept to apply in which area and when should it be applied. This is the area students are lacking, right? Because I read answer script, so I know, I can tell you this. So please don't do this. Even it means if you have to read a question 5 times, 10 times, also do it, please. Obviously a student won't spend 10 times, but just I'm saying, especially at least when you're practicing and all, you do it. Okay, make it a habit that you do this. uh, when you start your exam, just try to forget theory of every topic you learn. Instead, try to plan answer in a way as if you own that business. You own that business. This is the same thing which I applied in SBL and I passed, Alhamdulillah, with 60%. Right? I don't think 60 is a bad, right? Even though I didn't get world ranks and all, but 60% is good enough, fair enough, right? I just used this concept on all my ICCA paper, with whether it was ATX, whether it was tax, whether it was my SBR, whether it was my AFM. I always use this one technique. That is that I always think that I own the business. For example, if I'm giving ATX paper, I think I'm a tax advisor. My role is to reduce the tax. So I will always suggest or advise, obviously with my knowledge of all the tax, VAT, income tax, inheritance tax, I have to reduce the tax. If I give AFM paper, I would, as a financial, I'm a financial advisor. So my area is to reduce the cost, financial cost, business risk, the financial risk, to the increase the wealth maximization of the shareholder. That is my goal. If I give SBR, I'm an accountant. My thing is, am I ethical? Am I following? Am I complying with the standards, IFRS standards, IAS standard? And if I give SBL paper means I'm a strategic business leader. The word says business leader, strategic business leader. That's what means. I should be able to know all the areas. my AFM, my I should be good in finance, I should be good in tax, I should be good in auditing, I should be good in accounting, I should be good in all the area. That is what is known as leader, right? Business leader. Then only you're a business leader. So strategic business leader needs the understanding of all the other areas, all the other papers, I would say. That's why SBL was the last paper I gave, right? So same for APM, performance management. No? You're measuring the performance of an organization, of a company. So you always have to think you own the business. Don't, I always say, don't think you are an ACCA student giving the exam. It will make you more nervous and you will feel more scared. Just if you want to gain confidence, visualize yourself that you are sitting on the chair, you are the chairman, you are the CEO, someone is reporting to you. Now you have to solve the issue. You are the business, you are owning this business. If this was my own business, what would I do? Just ask this question for yourself, and whatever the answer comes to you the first time, whatever the answer comes in your heart, that is the answer. Okay? That that will give you motivation, that only will give you confidence to answer. There is no other way, trust me. But you have to know the concepts and all also. Okay, it's not that whatever comes in your mind only you start answering. If you have to be, you have to have a solid understanding, a solid ground on your concepts and all, then visualize yourself that you own the business and then apply. Okay, it's not that you think and start memorizing. Okay, this is the topic I studied, under this topic it was like this topic is like this. No, there are hundreds of topics you studied, but all those hundred of topics will not be asked in the exam. Maybe only 20%. See, I always told you, only 20% of your syllabus is covered in detail. The rest 80% is asked very in a small amount, maybe for 4 marks, 5 marks, 6 marks. Here and there it is asked. But majority, it comes only from the 20% of the syllabus. Any paper you see, it's like a rule, it's rule. That's how the examination process goes. Right? So all the 100 will not be asked from you, whatever you study. So then think of models or techniques to apply. What are the models you're going to apply? What are the techniques you're going to apply? Think about it. If you can't, then it's fine. Just apply your common sense. See, if you can't, that's why APM is hard. Because APM is more than your concepts, what you have studied in APM, not like other paper. For example, AFM, if you're giving AFM, if you know risk management, how to manage your risk, currency risk, how to manage your interest rate risk, there are models, concepts based on that. There are calculations based on that. So a student, when they know, they have learned or memorized it, whatever, let's say memorized it, still they'll be able to pass with that knowledge. Even if they don't have any common sense, also with that knowledge still they'll be able to pass the exam. That makes other paper easier compared to APM, and that's why the pass rate is higher in other paper. This is the truth, because I have given AFM, so I know it, right? And that's the reason I didn't choose APM. But definitely I'm a person who is very curious to learn things. I know what's happening around the business, so this gives me confidence that I can teach APM as well, even though I myself didn't give the APM paper, right? Because APM clearly tells you need common sense, right? If you don't know all these things from your APM model, is not enough. You forgot something, theories and all. Don't panic. Use common sense. And you will notice that even without thinking of a model, you actually applied a model unknowingly in your answer. This exactly same thing happened with me in SBL. I didn't know the model. I forgot the model. But when I was answering, I actually answered the model. You know, it's like that. So best of luck, guys, Rohan. So this is from Rohan. Rohan is one of the candidate. Right? I personally don't know who Rohan is, but my what do I say? I really appreciate the work you have done here by giving us comments for the future APM students, right? Thank you, Rohan, for having such, giving such advices. It has been, it's definitely going to help. It's definitely going to help millions of students, APM students, right? So next, there are some few things I think more Rohan has to say. Let us see what Rohan said. I have further elaborated my advice with an example. Question: there is inertia around systems not being adequate for the company. CEO is thinking of implementing new system. Evaluate the situation and impact on an organization if decision is pursued. That new systems will be there. 12 marks. Now, technique for answering would be to apply McKinsey's 7S model to identify a point and issue and then elaborate by answering. First, you use McKinsey's 7 model, whether it is a structure, strategy, whatever it is. Then those things identify the point or an issue. After that, what do you have to do? Elaborate answering. How do you elaborate answering? This is the way you elaborate answering. By answering how? why, the impact, the solution, the example. So whichever is more easily justified in case study and depending on the marks allocated, you have to see the marks and also you have to see which of this is more justified in the case study. Now the answer. Change of the system will affect. Okay, so this is an answer how you have to answer. So when you change the system, what are the other S's it will affect? Number one, strategy. Okay, what is strategy? This will affect the long term, short term. This will affect long term, short term strategy. It will affect both long and short term strategy. This is the point you identified, strategy. That's why half a mark. But you will not get full mark. To get the full mark, you have to answer two things. One is how, one is solution. See, not everything needs to be answered how, why, impact, solution, example, how, why, impact, solution, example. Some things you don't have to answer why. Some things you don't have to answer the example. For here, let's say after strategy, they already answered two things. Why, sorry, how, and the solution. So how it is going to impact. So the implementation will take 3 to 4 years. Therefore, cost must embedded in a budget. You see? See, definitely we know when you have to implement a system, it's not like that today I want to implement a system and tomorrow the system is implemented. System takes long time. Sometimes more than a year it takes to implement. So implementation will take 3 to 4 years. Therefore, cost must be embedded in a budget. So because implementation is taking 3 4 years, implementation is not free of cost. It comes with cost. So that cost also needs to be there in your budget when you're preparing budget, right? Solution. Solution means how to overcome this issue. Communicate to ensure all budget holders are aware of the strategy change. You have to communicate with all the budget holders, whoever is having the budget. For example, the financial budget, the production budget, the marketing budget, whoever is having the budget, you need to inform them so that they are aware of the strategy change. Okay. You are getting 1 mark. See, don't even miss a mark. Students fell at 49. I've seen students failing at 48, 49. Commonly 48, 45 to 49. This is like the huge area where students fail in this range only, 45 to 49. Okay, so don't throw away marks like this. Each mark matters. Take care of your marks. Okay, staff. Next S is staff. Moral might be affected. This is the point. Half a mark only. You will not get full mark if you say moral might be affected. Half a mark. This is another S. But now you have to see why that staff will be affected. Pressure to learn. Why he will be moral will go down? Pressure to learn. Panic of change. We all know that whenever you are given a position where a change is coming up, we always panic. We get scared. Why? It's known as a fear of unknown. We have this fear of unknown. See, when we know something, we don't have a fear. Whether it's good or whether it's bad, we know that we know it, right? But when we don't know the impact of it. We don't know how intense it's going to be. We don't know whether we will be able to cope up with it or not. So we panic. Also, there's a pressure to learn also that new system. Now, because it's CB platform, we all know students are all going through that phase. They have this pressure to learn the CB platform. They have the pressure to learn the Excel, to type fast, aren't we? All these years you didn't pay attention to all this. Now suddenly you have this pressure to learn. Why? Because suddenly the system has changed. What is the solution? How to overcome this? Number one, there are two solutions, okay? Number one, involve staff in change management by communicating factors. See, whenever changes, there always involve your staff. This is one of the solution you can give in any answer. Second, provide non-financial reward for participation. Yes. When they participate, give them non-financial returns. For example, see, they are giving you examples also of non-financial reward. What are they? Recognition, awards, prizes. You can give them prizes, award, or recognition also. Third is skills. So training will be required, definitely. New system training is there. How? How can you give them training? Bring consultants, arrange training programs, right? Impact. What is the impact? See, consultants are very expensive. You see any big organization, they have tons of consultants. Tax consultant, audit consultant, financial consultant, marketing consultant. Every department has consultants for every field and it's very costly. Consultants are not free of cost because they have tons of experience. They have worked in different industries. That's why they are consultant and that's why they are costly. That's the impact. Now the solution. Okay, so solution they didn't write. That's up to you. You can write it with your common sense. Also, you can write the solution. Okay, next S is structure. need to suit new systems, isn't it? The structure has to suit with the new system. What and why they didn't answer. Solution: bring restructuring consultants, right? Style: does business have right attitude and culture that will benefit overall business? What and why? Solution and example. So what is the solution? Survey the staff. Don't just take any staff in your organization or hire, you survey them. Okay? You assess the current controls and process. See the what is the current control and process. So what is he saying? By using the two techniques, I've scored 12 full marks. By using the two techniques only, I have scored 12 full marks. He scored 12 out of 12. Only two techniques he used. What are the two techniques? First, he wrote about the 7S: style, structure, strategy. Then he explained what, how, why, solution, all those things. So only two techniques he used. And with these two techniques, full 12 marks he got. Now, you might be saying that if it's so easy, then why don't we pass APM? The answer is very simple, because most of the students don't answer this way. They don't know. Simple thing, they don't know, and they don't take an effort to know, the effort to know also. The reason why some students are getting high marks and some are getting failing. So you can replace McKinsey's model with other relevant model, for example, PEST or pyramid or building blocks, depending on question and case study industry. So for McKinsey's model, you can use other models also. You can use PEST, you can use pyramid, you can use building model, but it has to depend on the question and case study in the industry. Not everywhere you can use PEST, not everywhere you can use building blocks, depending on the case study. Then elaborate it with. Elaboration is always with this. How, why, impact, risk, solution, example. The same thing. The same thing. Any other ACCA paper also you can apply. Whether it's for SBR, whether it's for AFM, whether it's for your tax, whether it's for your audit, same thing you can apply in all the other papers and get the same result. The result will always be same. So Alex wants you to interpret and analyze like a real businessman. Write like one and you will soon find out that you have passed your exam with score of 70 to 75. You have to write like a business person. You have to think like a business person. You have to write like a business person, and then only you will pass out in the range of 70 to 75. Even if not 70, but at least you will pass, right, with 50. So what we want is pass. Whether at 70 or whether at 50 does not matter, but you have to think like a business person. That's the whole conclusion. That's what Rohan wants to conclude. Now let us go to the second candidate, and with this we shall end this video. Okay, Min. I can Min. So it's Min. Okay, so let's see what he has to say. Hi all, sorry for not sharing with you more details about my experience in P5. Okay, before it was P5, now it is APM. Okay, so she's not sharing her details. I don't know whether it's a girl or a boy. Okay, let's assume it's a he. So he is not sharing his details like how Rohan has shared that he got this marks in this sitting. He got this marks. Okay, that's not important. He's not about the previous posting. I just got STI in another country right after completing ACCA subjects, and it took me time to catch up with new things in a new job. But today ACCA June exam is coming. I recall my pleasure before exam and search Google for Alex What. Then I see all your questions and answers. I believe that all of you already passed P5 in December 2014 exam, so it was in the past. Okay, at that time it was known as P5. Thanks to precious advices of Roro on 10th November 2014, right before the exam. I can't tell you more than that. However, I still want you to tell you and send my gratefulness to my P5 lecturer, Mr. Okay, the name Kang Chen at FTMS Hanoi. Until now, I still remember some of his lecture about performance measurement and management. Among all the subjects of ACCA, I keep best memory about P5. Not only because it's the last subject, but also due to its applicability in my current job. Okay, so this shows that how important P5 is, it that you can even use it in your current job, right? P5 is all about performance of organization and people in that organization, but you have to define what are the performance of organization. It depends on the organization strategies and the vision. Its critical success factors, and those performance must include things in pairs. such as financial, non-financial, long-term, short-term, internal, external, to get sustained development of organization. Be careful with performance measurement as it is always goes with problems. It always goes with problem when you have to measure the performance. What is it? Gamings, tunnel vision, okay, misrepresentation, measure fixation. Second, in P5 questions, there are always organizations facing problems or considering changes, because changes in pestle 5 forces, you have to find out what are their problems. So you see, P5 is all about problems in the organizations. You have to advise on how to solve the problem, or either they want to change something, system or something process, then also you have to advise. So P5 is all about it. Now, how to change? What model should be applied? So you have to think as an advisor how to change. Everyone says change, change, change. It's not so easy to change. You have to think how to change. What model should be applied? Be careful. It's not always new model better than traditional. One doesn't fit all. You see, even if new model is there, new model also comes with its own problem. That also you have to identify. And it's not always the new model might be better than traditional model. Sometimes traditional model is good in its own way, which new model might not be good in its way. Now next, most once the organization decides to change, 7S is applied. See good things and bad things. Recommend how to deal with bad things. Maybe this things will tell you. Mostly when it's about organization facing problem. Okay. What is it? Number 2 says how, what are the problem, how to change, what model to apply. But when it is about the organization, when it decides to change, use the 7S. McKinsey says 7S. Okay, strategy, structure, style, all those things. And you have to see good things and bad things. You have to see both the things, the good also, the bad also, and recommend how to deal with bad things. If bad, then recommend how to deal with the bad things. Okay. Fourth point, Alex Ware is brilliant. He does his own business and has wide knowledge about various business industry, from manufacturing, service, hospital, education, and IT. He can mention lean process, ERP, and should prepare knowledge for this. Try to spend time on Financial Times. So she is, or he is giving you the how much time you have to spend and what are the areas you have to spend time on. Okay, maybe I can highlight this for you. You can take a picture, you can write it down. Spend time on Financial Times, The Economist, to catch up what's going on in the economics and the big groups. You can ask yourself, what is the source of wealth for some famous company like Google, Apple, ABB? What are their critical success factor? Their KPIs, right? How do they get set the wealth they get? See, a person might be should be curious, right? How are they accumulating so much of wealth? From where are they getting this wealth? What are their sources of wealth? And how are they measuring their success? Their critical success factor, their KPI, their key performance indicator. Okay, why their key KPIs may change time to time. All those things you need to see. Okay. So in short, you need to be a person, you need to be a curious type of person who is eager to know all those things. Then only you can learn more. The more eager you are to learn to learn something, the more you will know about it. Not only about it. The good thing about learning is you come to learn something and you go on with knowledge from other areas as well. More things. It's like 1 plus 1 is not equal to 2. It's like that. It's more than that. See? Number 5 and the last point, practice as many as you can. Discuss your thinking, opinions about one question and how you plan to answer with your friend, better with your lecturer. Why better with your lecturer? Because you and your friend are in the same phase. You're in the same ship. So if the ship drowns, both of you will drown together. Because both of you are not better than each other. You are equal. But your lecturer, definitely he or she went through that phase, has passed it, and he or she will be able to guide you better. He or she will be able to see the long term. He has the vision which you don't have at that stage. So it's better to consult your lecturer more than your friend. But if you don't have your lecturer, then a friend also will do. But not any kind of friend. Only those friends who will give you genuine feedback, honest feedback. Because some friends we know that they always say, it's good, it's good, it's good. Not such kind of friend. You don't always need a friend who always says good things on your face and they are not honest. You need a friend who can tell you that no, this is wrong, you are going wrong here. These are the things you need to improve. You need such kind of friend. If you have such kind of friend, it's a blessing. You should take advantage of such kind of friends, right? But if you don't, better to consult a lecturer. But it's not a substitute that because I have a friend I should not consult my lecturer. Nothing like that. If you have a lecturer, if you are doing self study, that's another case. But if you have a lecturer, please be in a good relation with your lecturer, be in good contact with your lecturer. Okay, he or she will be able to give you right direction. Okay, when you are clear what is asked and know how to answer, just keep your sentence short and simple, but illustrate with a specific proof. Don't just state your opinion without evidence. Okay, for example, I want to end this with an example. If you want to say, tomorrow I think it's going to rain tomorrow. This is what, it's a fact or it's an my opinion? It's my opinion, because I said I think it's going to rain. It's not a fact. How can it be fact? If it's a fact, I need to say it with an evidence. How can I make it into an evidence? The same sentence which I what I said, I think it will rain tomorrow, I can change it to a fact. How? I can say it's going to rain tomorrow because so and so says so. The statistics says so. I have seen the weather focus. The weather focus says so. So the weather focus is a specific proof. It's evidence. So in APM also, when you're giving answer, you cannot say I think, I wish it would be like this, or it should be like this. No, you have to give evidence. You have to give proof to say it is like this. If you, I think it's going to rain because the probability of rain is 90% according to the, so according to this news or according to the weather forecast. Then it's a it's a fact. It's not an opinion anymore. So don't give your own opinion, that also without evidence. Okay. And P5 is okay. So I want to end this on this note. Okay. Since I have come to the end, P5 is hard but fruitful when you take it, understand it, and pass it. Good luck. Okay. P5 is hard, yes, I understand, but it's not something impossible that you will never pass. Even if you are failing continuously, don't lose hope. And now my job is over here. I have introduced to, I have given you the advices needed for you to pass P5. Now it's your job to share this with your friends, right? Don't you want your friends to pass too, right? So share this with your friends, and it should keep going. I want to see more and more people being aware of this advice, and I want to see more and more people passing P5, right? Now, so I want to end here and wish you best of luck and good luck for P5. Till then, see you and take care.